The first soap probably wasn't invented for people. It was invented for sheep. Yes, that does feel a little insulting. Picture this. A perfectly clean sheep with bright, shiny wool, looking like it just came back from a luxury spa. And standing next to it is a human covered in dust and soot, looking like he spent 3 nights sleeping beside a fire, chased a mammoth through the woods, and somehow lost a fight with a bush. So the sheep is already clean. Meanwhile, its owner still smells like smoke, sweat, and several questionable life choices. A little unfair. But sheep's wool may actually be where the story began. Around 4,500 years ago, people in Mesopotamia were mixing animal fat with alkaline substances made from ash. The mixture helped remove grease and dirt from wool. So people had already figured out how to clean a sheep. Cleaning themselves properly would take a little longer. A lot longer. They would go through sand, clay, oils, plant roots, metal scrapers, and eventually, after thousands of years of experimentation, they would finally arrive at something that looked like the ordinary bar of soap sitting beside your sink today. So how did humanity get from ash, dirty wool, and suspicious bubbling pots to a neat, pleasant-smelling bar? And why did it take so long? Let's start at the beginning.
In the Stone Age, the cleaning routine was simple. Use whatever happens to be nearby. The easiest option was water. A river, a stream, a lake. In colder places, there was snow. Although bathing in winter probably felt less like a refreshing wellness treatment and more like a very fast reconsideration of every decision that brought you there. People rubbed their skin with their hands, grass, cloth, or sand. Sand worked like an ancient body scrub. It removed dirt, grease, and occasionally, the desire to continue the entire process. Clay could absorb some of the oil. Ash contained alkaline compounds. Some plants helped with the smell. Did any of this leave people perfectly clean? Probably not. But at least they no longer smelled like someone who had just been pulled out from underneath a mammoth. And that was progress. The way people cleaned themselves depended heavily on where they lived. If you lived near a forest, you had herbs, wood ash, and water. If you lived near the sea, you had sand, shells, and plenty of water. If you lived in the desert, well, you had plenty of sand. Water was where things became complicated. Nature was humanity's first household cleaning store. I mean, the only problem was that none of the products came with instructions.
We don't know who made the first soap-like mixture. It may have happened completely by accident. Imagine a fire. Someone is cooking meat above it. Fat drips down into the ashes. Then it rains. Water passes through the mixture and creates a slippery substance on the ground. The first product test did not go particularly well. But sooner or later, someone may have noticed that this strange, slippery material helped remove grease from hands, tools, or fabric. And that is where ancient chemistry begins. Wood ash contains alkaline compounds. When water passes through ash, it can create an alkaline liquid called lye. Heat that lye together with fat, and a chemical reaction begins. The fat slowly turns into soap. Sounds easy. And today, it can be, assuming you have accurate scales, a thermometer, clean ingredients, safety equipment, and a basic understanding of chemistry. An ancient soap maker had a large pot, a wooden stick, and a neighbor he could ask to test the first batch. If there wasn't enough lye, the result was a greasy mess. If there was too much, the mixture started cleaning the person along with the dirt. At that point, it was no longer soap. It was the complete removal of the stain's owner. Making good soap took experience.
You had to know how much fat to use, how strong the lye should be, and when to take the pot off the fire. A bad soap maker usually discovered his mistake later, from the customer, very loudly.
Some of the oldest written references to soap-like mixtures come from Mesopotamia. And the original goal wasn't smooth skin or a pleasant fragrance. It was clean wool. Sheep's wool is naturally coated in grease. That protects the animal. But it also makes the wool difficult to dye. If the fibers are greasy, the color doesn't absorb properly. So before the wool could be dyed, someone had to remove the grease. Picture an ancient workshop. A huge pot is boiling. Smoke keeps blowing directly into everyone's face. Workers carry heavy piles of wet wool back and forth. Workshops like these helped people understand the basic principle behind soap. A soap molecule has two different ends. One is attracted to water. The other is attracted to oil and grease. It grabs onto the oily dirt and helps the water carry it away. Soap is basically a strict nightclub bouncer. It walks up to a grease stain and says, "All right, that's enough. You're leaving."
Ancient Egypt had a different problem. It was hot and extremely dusty. Sand got into everything. Homes, clothes, hair, shoes, and probably the plate you had just finished washing. Egyptians used water, oils, and natural salts. One of the best known substances was natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture collected from dry lake beds. Natron had plenty of uses. It could help clean fabric, it could remove grease, and it played an important role in mummification. A very versatile product. You could clean your clothes, you could deal with a greasy surface, or you could prepare a pharaoh for eternity. The label could have said natron for the home, the family, and the afterlife. Oils were also widely used. People applied them to the skin to soften dirt and protect the body from the hot, dry climate. Then they wiped the mixture away with cloth or rinsed it off with water. They also added fragrant ingredients, because sometimes you can't remove every smell, but you can send a stronger smell in to take its place. Humanity still uses this technique, especially in the morning, when someone oversleeps and decides that 3 aggressive sprays of deodorant are basically the same thing as taking a shower.
The ancient Greeks approached cleanliness in a very Greek way. Athletic, elegant, and slightly alarming. First, a person covered their body in olive oil. Sweat, dust, and sand stuck to the oil. Then they picked up a strigil, a curved metal scraper, and scraped the entire mixture off their skin. That was the routine. Apply oil, let the dirt stick to it, then remove everything with a piece of metal. Athletes use this method especially often. After exercising, their skin was covered in sweat, oil, and sand. The strigil removed the dirty layer. After that, they rinsed themselves with water. That all sounds fairly logical, until you remember that someone is dragging a metal object across the skin near your ribs and calling it self-care. A modern spa could easily sell the same treatment under a name like Ancient Mediterranean Detox with Deep Mechanical Cleansing. $200 now. Washcloth not included. The Romans borrowed many Greek bathing habits and made them much larger. They turned bathing into a major public event. People didn't go there just to wash. They discussed the news, made business deals, shared gossip,
complained about politicians, and talked about their neighbors. Basically, it was social media. Except you had to post your comments out loud. And once you said something, there was no delete button. Romans used water, oils, and strigils. They knew about soap, but for a long time it wasn't their main cleaning method. People rarely rush to change a familiar habit. Even today, someone is walking around with a phone screen cracked in 5 different places, saying, "It still works perfectly." The Roman version of that phone was a bronze scraper, and he wasn't ready to give it up either. At the same time, people were discovering natural cleaning agents in plants. Some plants contain compounds called saponins. When mixed with water, they create foam and help loosen dirt. In Europe, people used soapwort. In North America, indigenous peoples used yucca roots. To make a natural shampoo, you had to dig up the root, clean it, crush it, and mix it with water. No plastic bottle. No commercial. No label saying dermatologist tested. Just a shovel. Today, we get annoyed when a shampoo cap refuses to open on the first try. Back then, washing your hair could begin with agricultural labor. Plant-based cleaners were usually gentler than strong lye mixtures, but they required a different skill. You had to know your plants. Which root cleans? Which one irritates the skin? Which one is poisonous? And which one causes you to spend the evening thanking a rock for a fascinating conversation? Botany wasn't just a school subject. It was a safety system.
Over time, soap making stopped being a collection of accidents and became a skilled trade. In the Middle East and around the Mediterranean, soap makers increasingly used plant oils, especially olive oil. One of the most famous traditional products was Aleppo soap. It was made using olive oil and laurel oil. The ingredients were heated in enormous vats. Then the mixture was poured across a flat surface. Workers waited for it to harden, cut it into blocks, and left it to cure for months. Months. A modern customer would send a message after 2 days. "Hello, where is my order?" The soap maker would calmly reply, "Your soap is currently still liquid." Once cured, the soap became hard, stable, and easy to store or transport. A person no longer needed to carry around ash, plant roots, oil, and a bronze scraping tool. One bar could do the job. Civilization was finally beginning to recover. The real transformation began when people learned how to produce alkaline chemicals in large, reliable quantities. Before that, soap makers depended heavily on ash, and ash was unpredictable. One batch of soap might come out soft, another might be dangerously harsh, a third might clean the design off the cooking pot, along with the dirt. Industrial chemistry made the process more consistent. Factories could produce thousands of similar bars. Soap became cheaper, more reliable, and available to ordinary people. Later, scientists and doctors began to understand the connection between dirty hands and disease. Soap was no longer just a way to remove grime or cover unpleasant smells. It became a form of protection. A simple bar of soap could help prevent infections and save lives. No electricity, No battery, no subscription, no software update. It just sits there and works, which is honestly impressive.
The story of soap didn't begin in a beautiful bathroom. It began beside a fire, near piles of greasy wool, with ash, fat, and a large pot that probably wasn't safe to stand too close to. People washed with water, sand, clay, and plants. They covered themselves in oil. They scraped dirt away with metal. They experimented with whatever they could find. And after thousands of years, humanity finally arrived at the ordinary bar sitting beside your sink today. It gets soft. It cracks. It slips out of your hand. And the moment it touches the floor, it somehow collects every hair within a 3-meter radius. But when you really think about it, that slippery little block is a chemical miracle. So the next time your soap flies out of your hand and disappears under the bathtub, don't get angry. Pick it up.
Subscribe if you'd like to discover more strange stories hiding behind ordinary things. And tell me in the comments, what everyday object would you like us to investigate next? Because if soap has a story like this, just imagine what the rest of your bathroom has been hiding.